Other form mamuni na kwa ba eba Ghanatube. Mamuni say Ghanatube dear. Information in your better or no one near the Brems and Musmunya son, Namunti, Namu idea cost Ghana has other four. Mamuni story a trend this week. Yankasia mammy get to Konu the court in some seminar idea Ghana has in Ubiakan once a no. Order four way the breaking news Nabetuja, miracles Abuaje, and also a barbontia or the in summer who do a better bontin concerning the removal process of the Chief Justice and as a former Chief Justice, get to Konu, and back and forth na Kono, Kakran or the Seminole Enam Court, nor the Akko International Court, ECOWAS, na the Mina of four, Chess and Seminole, the Idea, and Chess miracles Abuaji, and Suwa Barbonti, and also not the Nanun Seminina Betua Bonti concerning in Sema Ekosu. A former Chief Justice get to Konu no court in some sort of former near Bura studio, Ninkotin Sema, miracles Abuajin, so they are back concerning Yankasa, yes, sacked or the removed Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, get to Konu, and yes, you remember to see Ghanatube so.
Yes, do you share a different view? The Constitution says that to become a justice of the Supreme Court or the Superior Court, or even a judge, you must be a person of high moral character and proving integrity. High moral character and proving integrity. And to lose that job, you must have been found to have conducted yourself, stated misbehavior, or incompetence, or infirmity of body or mind, and so on and so forth.
So I think that when it comes to issues like this, nobody should assume any role or responsibility that the law doesn't give you. I believe that we need to be a bit more fair to the Chief Justice. At this point, after whatever the government wanted to do, they've done, I think it's time for us to calm down and begin to give her some hearing. I have always had a problem with the basis for a removal and all the things they went through. I mean, first of all, I think that there is no audit report from any Auditor General indicating the primary allegation they use against her. And I don't think our laws allow any other committee or body to determine these things other than the Auditor General. I am very sure that when this government eventually leaves office and this woman gets an opportunity to go through this process again, we'll see a lot of gaps. But it's okay. For now,
it's not only the financial impropriety
most of them,
that was used.
Most of them. I mean, for now,
according to the outcome, and the letter that communicated her removal,
I agree.
She was also found.
As it stands now, nobody has even seen the report. Okay. Even she herself has not received a copy of the report from the president. The only thing she's received is a letter from the secretary indicating that she's been removed.
That's precedent.
I'm just saying that as of now, she hasn't received it. So we don't even know. We don't even know in proper terms the basis for a removal other than what the president has stated. That's what I'm saying. When this government eventually leaves in 2029, we will know the details. That notwithstanding, I just want to ask. I know if I'm a judge, I'm supposed to live above reproach. So I am caught for stealing. And I'm dealt with according to stealing, which is misbehavior. The law doesn't say that automatically I cease to be a judge. The law says that I must be taken through a certain process. And then I'll be removed as a judge. Is that the case? Then if that is the case, there's a process to remove a Chief Justice, which you've gone through it with me. There's a process to remove a judge of the Supreme Court. It is only fair that and proper that you take the basis and whatever ruling, whatever evidence here, and take it through the process of removing a Supreme Court judge. And that is what I think the lady is looking for. Basically, at this point, what we are doing is that we are saying that because we found you guilty on one thing, automatically you won't qualify for this. But here we are. And we are all clear in our minds that the person is saying, I wasn't even given a fair trial through this committee. So if she goes through the process of removal of a Supreme Court judge, she may adduce further evidence to, clear herself for certain things that have been made against her. But to say that because the processes of a removal of a Chief Justice have been seen through, and for that reason she has been removed, automatically she ceases to be a judge, is to say that if a judge is found guilty on a crime, automatically that judge ceases to be a judge. When the Constitution or the law itself has given a process that you should take a judge through before they are removed.
Have you tried to look at what the difference is about the procedure for removing a Superior Court judge and the procedure for removing a Chief Justice?
The simplest, one of the basic differences I've realized is that if you're going to remove a Supreme Court judge, the Chief Justice handles that, right?
What do you mean by handles that?
It goes to the Chief Justice. Now, if you look at the committee,
it goes to the President.
Of course, and the Chief Justice.
The petition will go to the President. The President will send it to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Then the Chief Justice will determine whether there's a case to answer or not.
In this case, the committee, actually the membership of the committee, as to whether they have the jurisdiction to remove a judge of a Supreme Court, it's another question. So the fact that the membership of that committee, of course, the membership of that committee, do they have proper jurisdiction to remove a judge of the Supreme Court?
Or the committee?
No. The committee. The committee
that was set up.
That committee has jurisdiction over determining the fate of a Chief Justice. But do they have the jurisdiction over determining the fate of a Supreme Court judge? If they don't, then all you have to do is take whatever it is that they have done, which is now evidence of whatever crime the Chief Justice may have caused, and take her through the process of removing her as a Supreme Court judge and allow her to defend herself.
Okay,
that is the law.
So the Constitution says, I'm coming. The Constitution says, as a Supreme Court judge, or as a Superior Court judge, or as a judge, the only time you may be removed is that you have been found on these grounds: stated misbehavior, incompetence, or inability to perform the functions of your office arising from infirmity of body or mind. Are you saying that if, in this case, having been found guilty of stated misbehavior over financial impropriety, over attempt to appoint extra Supreme Court judges, etc., it can only remove you as a Chief Justice, but not as a Supreme Court judge, regardless that the verdict is that you have been found guilty of stated misbehavior?
That is why I said that. The 1462 is clear. It says that may only be removed by the procedure.
That's 1461.
No, 2. I'm referring to 1462.
Okay.
Yes, I'm referring to 1462. May be removed by the procedure. And if you may, I can even read it. It's 146.
A justice of the Superior Court of Judicature or a chairman of a regional tribunal may
only be removed in accordance with the procedure specified in this article. The procedures are not the same. The procedures for removing the Chief Justice is not the same as the procedure for removing a judge of the Superior Court.
And the only difference, as you have indicated, first and foremost, is that...
Like, I think that is primary. That, for example, on this committee were 2 other Superior Court judges. When you are removing a Chief Justice, would these 2 other Superior Court judges be there? Would Domelevo be there?
Okay, so let's look at it. If you are removing a Superior Court judge, clause 4, where the Chief Justice decides that there is a prima facie case, he shall set up a committee comprising of 3 justices of the Supreme Court, or chairman of the regional tribunals, or both.
Which one are you reading, please?
Clause 4.
Okay.
1464.
Appointed by the Judicial Council and 2 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers, and who shall be appointed by the Chief Justice on the advice of the Council of State.
Yes.
So the first difference is that to remove a justice of the Superior Court, Chief Justice will make a prima facie case.
Yes.
And after that, the Chief Justice, together with the Judicial Council, will appoint the members who will form the panel. Then clause 6, where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. So the appointment of the committee to do the process is done by the President with the Council of State.
For Chief Justice
and
removal.
prima facie is also done by the President with the
For
Council
Chief
of
Justice
State.
removal.
This is the difference.
For Chief Justice removal.
That's right.
But for the removal of a judge of the Supreme Court, a committee should be set up at the Chief Justice, not the President.
With the Judicial Council.
Yes, not the President.
Right.
Secondly, I made a fundamental point, and I think that's what we should all use our mind to. Let's say I'm a Supreme Court judge, and then I'm found to be beating my wife. And so my wife takes me to, is it DOFSU? And DOFSU takes me through all processes, and I'm found to be domestic violence. It doesn't automatically disarm me from being a judge of the Supreme Court.
That's correct.
But somebody can, based on that ruling, now petition the Chief Justice and say, this judge is a woman,
the President.
The President, and say, this judge is a woman beater. I don't know why you allow a woman beater to sit as a judge in this country. The President may now write to the Chief Justice. When the Chief Justice receives that petition, he will check whether me beating my wife, for whatever reason,
It's stated misbehavior.
is stated misbehavior, and it even affects or impairs my ability to be a judge. If he establishes that, then he will set up a committee for me to come and defend myself. Now that committee's evidence against me will be that ruling against me being a woman beater.
That's right.
I have to prove to that committee that the fact that I beat my wife in the past doesn't mean that necessarily I cannot execute my function as a judge. You may disagree with this, but this is the law.
The standard is
law.
that you are a person of high moral character and proven integrity.
But the law says that she may only. So there is only one procedure. You cannot imply any other procedure.
Okay.
So you may have a very solid ground for thinking that she cannot be a judge. But the law says that you cannot use that procedure of removing a Chief Justice, which is for the sex.
Okay.
To remove a judge, which is for the
let me ask you this, and I move on to Roxanne, hold on.
So what I think anybody should do, now is to simply, like they did for this one, get one of their guys again to write a petition against a woman and take it to the President.
Okay.
Then the President will refer it to the Chief Justice. Then the Chief Justice say, Madam, you know you are no longer the Chief Justice, but people are saying you can no longer be a judge. According to the Constitution, 1464, come and defend yourself.
Please.
Then the Chief Justice will form a committee.
So the new Chief Justice.
Yes, because that is the only way you can remove a judge of the Supreme Court.
Please.
You cannot use 6 to remove
so
4.
that at her time there should be a petition sent to her to make a prima facie on herself.
No. The Chief Justice has now been removed. That is established. He's now been removed.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that he's been removed as the Chief Justice.
Hold on. Don't worry. Allow him.
He's been removed as the Chief Justice, which was a function.
Okay.
Remember, it was a function.
The last question I'm going to ask you, let me put it to Theo Champong. Dr. Theo Champong.
I thought you asked me this.
Dr. Theo Champong, I don't know
please.
if you share Dennis's view, but even if you don't, what do you make of the Supreme Court in
Odofo we na ensem a deji a chese getu to konu chese ompese obeji na homekra ensem na wase kuku edi akọ biomu no e na chese ensem na deji a yesi procedure ye faso edi yi eye Chief Justice efi akonya so no enye that same procedure eni edi yi eye Justice of the Supreme Court inti na also mutumi clarify two differences no procedure ye di yi eye Chief Justice efi akonya so no that one is separate from procedure ye Justice of the Supreme Court. Inti no untumi enyi eye Chief Justice enfi akonja so ensanso yi no as a judge of the Supreme Court. Ensanso nti eva se untumi enfa ebo baako enku no ma mienu dabi eno na John Dramani Mahama wa ye akese getu to konibu efu a ode asem no asan court bie o se ubetumi yi ne fi akonja so as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. But as a Justice of the Supreme Court, the process is different. In the first process, na mu use here, mu di ni fi akonyaso as Supreme Court judge is established. Until no, our someone use another process. Essentially, edi ni fi akonyaso as Justice of the Supreme Court. That process no na ye ma me omanfa na amfa so ani bu for this asem nyina kokotoro for when you breaking news about to jam so be nyina bre e Ghanatube of mo refi say mo like no ma subscribe no ma share no ma hit notification bell so man say the be a bring ya bibia drop content say ya wo whether the tempa no watch no tell for aha na be the same nyina be see Ghanatube so makra mo nyina medamu nyina se bebre